Welcome to Standards and Skills, where you get it, we got it, and it's all good. Today, we'll be going over the 2021 Grade 4 English Language Arts release questions. As you can see, this is exactly how the test packet will come to you, the student. You're going to make sure that you read the directions carefully before you begin the first session. This first session consists of 3 stories, and it's all multiple choice. Some tips for taking the test are as follows. Be sure to read all the directions carefully. Most questions will make sense only when you read the whole passage. You may read the passage more than once to answer a question. When a question includes a quotation from a passage, be sure to keep in mind what you learned from reading the whole passage. You may need to review both the quotation and the passage in order to answer the questions correctly. Read each question carefully and think about the answer before making your choice. The first story that we will be reading is called Snow Day in Space. Now, we are actually not going to read the entire story. We're just going to look at the format of the story. As you can see, the format remains the same. Numbers are to our left, words are to our right. This is formatted this way, so when the story asks you to go back and find a particular answer in paragraph 1, you know exactly where to go because it has already been numbered for you. This is for when you are asked a specific multiple choice question in regards to a paragraph, as well as you're asked a short question or an extended response question for easy referencing. Let's continue to scroll down the page to our first question. Our first questions ask, according to the story, what does it mean when Jem says, I am sentenced to life in space? We have parentheses, and in the parentheses, it says paragraph 6. Therefore, you need to go back to paragraph 6 and reread so that you can choose the correct choice for number 1. Number 2, read the sentence from paragraph 14. The tension stops me in the doorway like a force field. Now we know like is a form of figurative language, and like falls under the figurative language simile, which describes a word using like or as. Therefore, going back to paragraph 14, if you need to read for more context clues, you'll be able to answer what does the word tension mean as it is used in this sentence. Continue down to number 3. What does paragraph 27 reveal about Jem's father? So reveal is another way of saying show you about Jem's father. This answer, you have to go back to paragraph 27. It is already numbered, so that should be an easy find. Going down to number 4, how does Jem cause the events that happened in paragraph 28? Number 5, which quotation from the story identifies the setting? The setting means places in a story. Therefore, you have to go back and find the place this story began. Number 6, which quotation best supports a theme of the story? The theme of the story means what lesson was learned, or what was the moral of the story. Moving on to our second story, it's called Saving Snow Leopards. Numbers are to our left, words are to our right, and we have a little extra. We have subheadings. Subheadings are the smaller headings below the main heading. The main heading of this article is called Saving Snow Leopards, and the subheadings are also in bold and they're just above the paragraph. So the first subheading is called Mountain Ghosts. The paragraph is below that describes all about mountain ghosts. The second subheading is called Protecting the Herd. The paragraph below the subheading describes what protecting the herd is all about. We have a close encounter. The paragraph below describes what the subheading A Close Encounter is all about. We have a chart. This chart title is called Threats to Snow Leopards. We have the name of that particular threat to the left, and we have a brief description describing the particular threat. Let's continue down the page to number 7. What does the word conservation mean as it is used in paragraph 6? This answer can be found by you going back to paragraph 6 and reading the context clues around if you do not already know what conservation means. Number 8, how does paragraph 9 connect to paragraph 6 in the article? There's a key word there for us to pay attention to, connect, which means how do they make the same idea come to your mind? How does paragraph 9 and 6 in the article make some sense to you as the reader? Let's move on down to number 9. Which idea best explains why Dr. McCarthy and his co-workers traveled to Kyrgyzstan? Scrolling down to number 10, which idea from the article best supports the main idea? Remember, main idea means what the story is all about. Moving down to number 11, how is the article mainly organized? You are giving a list of reading skills. From reading the article, you'll be able to best align which reading skill fits the article. Compare and contrast. That is a familiar reading skill where you're finding similarities and differences. B, sequence of events. That's telling how the story happened in sequential order or chronological order, or by saying what happened first, second, third, first, next, then, last, however you remember that reading skill. Question, then answer, or cause and effect. Cause is short for saying because something happened, this is what you had to do. A quick example you can think of is because it rained, you had to get an umbrella or a raincoat or any other object to shield yourself from that type of precipitation. Number 12, how does the table at the end of Saving Snow Leopards support the main idea of the article? The table they're referring to is what I said before, the chart that's telling you about the threats from the snow leopard. You have to go back to that chart and see what threats are brought upon the snow leopards so that you can best choose the answer choice for number 12. Our last story is called The Scarlet Ribbon. The format remains the same, numbers to the left, words to the right, and we can also see that above the title of this article, it says, this story is based on a folk tale from Australia, to give you more of a background. We have a little caption here, frivolity. equals carefree behavior. Continuing down the page, we have another little caption, impelled, which means moved or driven into action. Continuing down the page, we are on our next question. Which detail from paragraph 1 best supports a theme of the story? Remember, theme means the lesson learned from the story. Number 14. Read the sentence from paragraph 6. They understand my sorrow. Panikia thought, the knowledge warming her. Remember, if you are not able to pronounce a name, you can simply say the letter K just so you can continue to understand the story. What does the phrase, the knowledge warming her, suggest? Go back to paragraph 6, continue to read the context clues so that you are able to best find the answer choice for number 14. Number 15, what does the word mournful mean as it is used in paragraph 7? Go back to paragraph 7, read the context clues in paragraph 7 so that you'll be able to find the best answer choice to describe the word mournful. Number 16, which sentence from the story best shows how a character's actions help to develop the story? Character's actions that falls under character traits, which we know the traits summarizes the actions of the character as well as the feeling. Number 17, which statement best describes how Kanikia or how K changes from the beginning to the end of the story? Number 18, which detail would be most important to include in a summary of the story? We have now come to the end of the 2021 Grade 4 English Language Arts release questions. Remember, the state test is on time. You have all day to complete your tests. Do not feel you have to rush. Reread as many times as you need. And most importantly, remember to have fun. At the end of the day, think of the state test as an open book test. All the answers are right in front of you. All you have to do is read and plug it out. Pull it out. This is Standards and Skills, where you get it, we got it, and it's all good.